Right, hi everyone, welcome back to Retro Rust. Back on Christine. You've seen the previous video that she broke down on me, so I swapped the fuel pump over, and I stopped the video. I can't remember if I got it running in the video, but it did fire up once it eventually sucked the fuel through. She also broke down on me again. Turns out it was also the carburetor was dodgy, even though it had all new gaskets and everything. Something inside must not be quite right, because once it was up to temperature, it was a pig to start. And also when you're driving, it will like missing. So anyway, I got rid of the carb. That, by the way, is the carb off Ruster, which will probably explain quite a lot, really, considering it's sat for so long. I've now got this back on. This beast is a 4-barrel Holly carburetor. It's pretty much twice the size of a 38D gas. It's a 4-barrel, hence having 4 chambers, whereas a twin choke only has 2 chambers. I've ran it with this carb on and it fires straight up on the button every single time when it's up to temperature and everything. Dog say in! Dog trying to sneak through the hedge. Come on, in. Good girl. Right. You'll also see one of my previous videos where I actually took her for a pretty much first drive, a wash, and down to the first show of the year. A47 Auto Jumbo. In that show, again, is on the 2nd. So yes, this time I want to have the bonnet up. And originally you'd probably know, wait for the bike to go by, you'll probably remember the car at first me saying it's a 3.1 turbo. Well, I eventually took the turbo kit off because I wanted to put some miles on. She's now done about 170 miles ish, so she's running pretty good. No knocking or anything like that. It's now time to put that turbo kit back on. Make some power in this beast. Whether she'll last or whether she'll just go bang, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really care. I just want to be like, I've done it. If it goes bang, it's not the end of the world. I've got a choice of 2 V8s to put in. But I've made my mind up, if it goes bang, she will be going V8. I'm doing a clutch job for a friend, which I'll be getting a, I can't remember if it's a 3.5 or a 3.9 Rover V8. Yeah, Rover. But still a V8 at the end of the day. I'll either be going with that or old school Ford 302. That's the plan. Either Rover V8 or 302. I think it would be 302. It would need a minor rebuild, new bearings and rings. I had that a long time ago. I stripped it down. Bearings were showing copper, and the bores were, well, they were quite shiny, so it needed a good hone and some new rings. So yeah. She might actually be V8 sooner than I think. Or maybe I did a good job on building this and it will last. Who knows? We shall see. As you can see, not much room really. Just here. Put the coolant hose up. But that is where the turbo sits. everything is made for this kit. As you can see, bit stupid reeler, but there's holes in the inner wing, just here and the other side of the radiator. Same this side. There for the boost pipes. Like I say, before I decided to take it off, I had everything made. I had it running with the turbo on, apart from it wasn't actually putting no boost at all back into the engine, because the only thing I had left to make was the top hat. Now I've decided I'm putting turbo back on. I bought a top hat. It's about 100 quid. I'm praying there's going to be enough bonnet clearance. At the moment, it's a standard intake manifold, so it's still got the original spacer where the PCV valve goes into. I've then got, you know what, can I zoom in? Show you better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Right, so here's the block for the PCV valve. I've also got this adapter plate which converts it from 38D gas Weber to Holle, and it, to be honest, like I say, it fits pretty good. It runs really good with it on, and it has a phenomenal tick over. Do you know what? I might even shouldn't really be starting it up while it's up in the air, because obviously the oil's going to run to the back of the engine, but be alright for a minute. Burn every time. And to be honest, like my dad and my brother says, it's got like a bit of a different idle to a standard carb. It's got that like kind of lumpy idle, which in my opinion sounds awesome. That probably give it a little twinkle. I actually think at the moment the carburetor is too big. You can see it sort of bogs down when you try and actually rev it properly. When I said it drives mint with it on, that's just cruising. When you hit the throttle, it tends to bog down just a tiny little bit. But oh, here you go. That sounds better now. Now I've revved it. This Holle, I think, is around 600 CFM. I think. A few people have said the biggest you can really go on an Essex V6 is about 390. So we'll see how we get on. If it's not drivable when you want to hit the throttle, then I'll have to find a smaller one. It'll be the same size, it's just a CFM that'll be different. But it might just need just a good tune. Like mixtures and that's probably all it is. I don't know, we'll see once I get round to actually setting it up properly. So yeah, the plan this evening is to start getting all this all stripped out, all of it. Get the radiator out, get the fans out, get all the coolant pipes back off, get all the exhaust manifolds off, alternator, bracket and all that off. I might need to drain the power steering. Because if I remember correctly, where I made the manifolds, because the manifolds that I made come around the front, and the turbo, like I say before, that I said the turbo sits here, and I'm sure I remember from before that the power steering pipes interfered, so they need like rerouting. I've also got the big down pipe that comes and it goes straight down that hole. and I needed clearance. So if I look at the bulkhead, it is actually a little bit battered where I had to make a bit of clearance. But like I say, this car, even though I've done all the welding, turn it around. Even though I've done all the welding on it, it's not like Rusty where I'm doing that nice butt welds, making the welding look mint once it's ground off, and so she's like show worthy. This car, from day one when I bought it, I think I paid like 150 quid, 300 quid, I can't remember exactly how much. I think it was about 300 for the shell. The plan from day one was to never be a show car. Just wanted it to look decent, look respectable. People to be like, you know what, wow, that looks quite clean for its age. So yeah, that's why I wasn't too fussed on like drilling the holes in the inner wings for the boost pipes. I'll actually admit, to be honest, when I did that, I don't think the car was even painted. I think it was actually multicoloured at that point. So I wanted like a rat rod look, kind of, back then, until I decided to actually paint it and get it looking respectable. Right, anyway, enough waffling on. Let's start getting all this stripped. Oh yeah, I don't know if I've already said, but A47 is on again on the 2nd, January, February, March. We're in April now, so 2nd of May. Yeah, if you recognise me, come up and say hello. Come and have a look at my car. Hopefully you'll like her, especially with the turbo kit on, which is going to look pretty cool. So let's start getting all this stripped. You can actually see pipe. I'll start draining all this coolant out. I've already loosened the pipe. Okay, well, not all of that went in the tub. Oh. Yeah, I want to try and keep what I can because it's not just water. It does have antifreeze in it, although it doesn't exactly look like it. There must have been some rusty water or residue or whatever in the block. It's discoloured it. I might renew it. When I made these fans, I made these brackets. You just push it down and slide it out. Same here. Push it down to lift that up, slides out. It was bolted at the bottom, but I've already undone them. As you can see there, not exactly the best, it's just a bit of angle iron. And then we've also got the self tappers in there. Bit more room now. Need to get that oil pipe off that end really. As you can see, the radiator's still solid. Just got to undo these 2 Allen key bolts here and here. Same that side. We should be able to get the rad out and then start stripping parts of the engine off. Yeah, seriously, look at the colour of that. You wouldn't think that's antifreeze. Right, I'm going to come back once I get the rad out. Hello, welcome back to Retro Rust. We're on Christine again today. Here's all the turbo kit that I made. Made these manifolds, made all the downpipe, the other exhaust manifold, and obviously all the bracket to mount all the turbo and stuff. There's the old manifolds over there on the grass. There was a bit of a pig to get off the car because I actually welded the tube on the end rather than having the flange like they usually do. Bit of a pig to get out from underneath the car because the long pipe kept digging into the ground. I was going for the route because I wanted to confuse people, so when they looked, I wanted people to think that it was a 2.8 injection. Then on the first light glance, then obviously they'd see the distributors at the front and they'll be trying to work out why, sort of thing. Anyway, I'm getting rid of that idea because I've now bought the proper top hat. Engine bay is pretty much stripped, most of it anyway. Just tidying all the wiring up. Brake bias valve, obviously on a 2.8 it sits on the other side of the engine wing. This wasn't on before when I had the turbo kit on, and now it interferes by a lot, so I now need to reroute the brake pipes and have it in a different place. I'm actually thinking whether to have it sitting right here and then just bring the other pipes back up, remake 2 pipes, whatever, but it needs to be moved to get clearance. As you can see here, I've also bolted all the intercooler back on. Same before, I wasn't going to run bumpers because I was going for the rat rod look, like I explained before. Obviously now I'm running bumpers. The bumper iron interferes with the boost pipe, so I've had to actually use a deburr part and cut a good notch out of the bumper iron, so it now has clearance. Just push the radiator back. Now it's all in place. I just need to push the bottom of the radiator to get it level. Then it's time to start undoing a couple of the bolts on the timing cover and get this turbo bolted back on. I'm not going to be bolting it on straight away because I want to repaint stuff, so I'm going to be repainting that before it goes on anyway. But yeah, I shall come back once that's done. Right, that's the turbo support, repainted, bolted back on. Obviously not exactly the best thing, but it's all homemade. Radiator's all back in. repainted the mounts. They're not actually all screwed up yet, but just got to put the nuts on the back. Same with this one. Just need to line it up, put the 2 bolts through. Should be alright once. Put the nuts and washers back on the back of there. And same with the turbo. Get the housing just another quick paint, just so it looks a bit more pretty. Yeah, cool. It's quite a big turbo. We've also got the bottom. Just need to give this a file, so to make sure that it's actually perfectly flat. Then that can actually go back in as well. So yeah, I'm going to come back in a minute once I put all the nuts and washers on the back of here, because I remember from before there was a bit tricky. Got to hold obviously the bolt from coming out. Oh yeah, that one's on actually. There you go. There's one on. Bottom one's a bit looser. Tighten them up, and then I think I'm going to put the radiator fan in once all the turbos are on. If I remember correctly, I think it just catches where the motor is, but we'll have a look, we'll see. Come back in a minute. Right, hi everyone, welcome back. Back on Christine on this turbo conversion. I must say it's going pretty good. Just take you around, show you what I've been up to. Right. These are all silicone parts I've just ordered for vacuum. Oh great, for vacuum. Put the boost pipe out of the way. Yeah, hinge and bay is looking a lot fuller. You can actually see how tight. Let's pull this coolant hose out. And that boost pipe is just about touching the radiator fans, and it's millimeters away from the exhaust manifold, so it may get cooked. All this, because you can't actually buy a turbo kit for an Essex V6, I've had to basically make do what I can find to make the job. There is places out there that make silicone hoses, so now I've actually figured out what exact shape and everything I need. I'll then be able to get rid of these joints and get like one whole piece made. You've got obviously the oil feed on top and the 2 coolant lines in return. The return goes down to the sump. You can also see down there, well maybe, I don't know if you can see, but it's probably about that far away from the oil filter, so that might even get cooked yet. Still got clamp to put on here. I'm just test fitting this pipe, that's why there's a bit of silicone hose there keeping it in line. So when I was doing TIG welding, it's not exactly perfectly neat, but so yeah, just got to put clamp on there. I bought this top hat, it finally arrived. I couldn't believe how big this end is. So although this is looking a bit like a bodge, it will do for now. I'm going to nip down the unit later, use that shrinker to shrink this lip so it's a tight fit, and then need to figure out how I'm actually going to secure it on. I don't know yet how, but we'll figure something out. This comes into contact with the bonnet, sadly enough, but by quite a bit really, about 5mm maybe. So I'm thinking at the bottom of this carb, whether to actually grind some off the bottom of the carb so it sits, so the top hat sits lower, or the just take you around, either that or this block that's for the PCV valve, where we take that off and then install a catch can. That's easier said than done, because this also has like a diversion like thing inside, which from what I'm guessing stops the fuel, all of the fuel, going straight to cylinder 2 and 5. That's my guess. I'm guessing it's like a distribution sort of thing, so it disperses the fuel like sideways to reach the end cylinders. That's my guess anyway on what it's for. So I'm a bit like this, whether to actually take it off or not, because if I do, like I said, them 2 cylinders are going to run super rich and super hot. Hey. Got to put a bit of heat shield around this alternator wiring. I've got the brake bias to go here, that's going to need a bit of heat shield around it as well. So yeah, I think, to be honest, she's looking pretty good, I must say. Still got all the other sort of bits to do, just like all niggly bits like this bolt being too long, like that can all be cut down after, because I'm planning on getting rid of these original type of flanges anyway, where it has the olive in between, and then go for something more modern like V-band or something. Still got to put the bracket on for the accelerator cable. And then I've just got a bit of pipe that's the down pipe, it actually puts it to the twin exhaust, so I need to get that done in a minute. Then in theory I could put water in and fire it up. Need to connect the fans back up, wire them back in. The wire's there, it's just on the floor. He's feeding through. Yeah, I'm happy, to be honest. So I shall see you in a minute once I put the diversion on the exhaust. See you in a minute. This is as far as I've actually got. I've still got to just do something with this top hat so it actually connects to the boost hose properly. But yeah, this is as much as that you're going to see of this video. I'm going to come back once I'm actually at the show and then film it so it's completely finished, else the video is going to get too long, and I want to get the video on before A47 Carburetor auto jumble. So this semi turbo build, and hit the like, comment and subscribe, and if you're at the show, I'll see you at the show. Don't forget to say hi. See you later.